So you want to know what's new and improved on the 4th generation Huawei Watch Pro? Well, you're in the right place because Huawei has made several upgrades, and that's what I'm going to try to highlight for you guys in this video. The protective glass is now a curved sapphire glass dome protecting the display underneath, and the display itself is an energy efficient LPTO AMOLED. It's now brighter than ever and has a resolution of 466 by 466 pixels, and to my eyes it looks incredibly sharp. And the domed glass makes it look very premium and gives it an almost 3D kind of effect to it, which is very nice. You could definitely rock this titanium strap version with a business suit. There's also a leather option and a blue composite strap option if you're into a more sporty look. These two versions are £50 cheaper than this titanium version because they're made from steel. And this Pro Premium version of the watch is around £550. However, if you don't want to rock up to the gym looking like Mr. T, you might want to switch out the strap from time to time for something more gym appropriate. And Huawei has made this easy to do with the quick release system. We've seen this before on other Huawei watches, but on this particular watch, each and every link in the watch strap has this quick release system, which means you can adjust this to pretty much any size you want. And as you can see, the body and the strap are made from the same metal, and it is an aerospace grade titanium, 3 times stronger than regular titanium, and it weighs 65 grams, which is around 2 grams heavier than the previous version of the Watch Pro. But if you're a gym goer, I'm going to assume that this difference is not going to break your back like I did the other day when I picked up a 6-pack of water from Aldi. Yes, it's a thick smartwatch, and make all the jokes you want about that in the comments. But keep in mind, the Watch 4 Pro is packed with tech and there's no wasted space. It's got a built-in speaker and mic so you can have a conversation with the watch and be cool like Michael Knight. And if you don't know who he is, he had a self-driving car with sentient AI built in the 80s. And I'll say no more. There are 2 physical buttons and the crown is one of them, but it also rotates for smooth navigation if your fingers get a little bit damp. For example, if you find yourself underwater. And yes, of course, it's IP68 rated, and it's also got a 580M rating, which basically means the Huawei Watch 4 Pro can survive in depths of down to 30 meters in ocean water. But you'll never catch me down there. Too many jellyfish. The lower button is a shortcut button to your quick bar, which consists of your 3 favorite features, and you can remap these to whatever you want. And it also doubles up as an electrode for resting your fingertip on, and when you do this, this completes the circuit for an ECG reading. And there is GPS antennas built in and an eSIM, so you can track your activity on a map. For example, my history consists of fast walks back and forth from the local off license. And if you do activate the eSIM, you can do the unthinkable and leave your house without your phone. And there are a ton of sensors on the base. These are all the latest and greatest from Huawei. And there's even a depth sensor, and it can use microphones for better readings, and the new respiratory feature that it has. And I've never heard of this before, so that's all brand new to me. And when it comes to using the watch, it's easier than ever. So the first time you turn on the Huawei Watch 4 Pro, you'll see a QR code. It will direct you to the Huawei Health app, which you can securely download from Huawei's official website. And one of the areas where Huawei watches shine in comparison to a lot of other smartwatches is the actionable data and displaying it in a way that's easy to understand. And it's even got instructional exercise programs built into the watch, and the watch will talk you through these. And regarding health tracking data, you've got the Huawei Health Clover built into the watch. It kind of acts like an app, but if you prefer, you've got the classic ring system where it will give you a visual update of how much progress you're making towards your daily goals. And to access all of the settings on the watch, all you need to do is swipe down from the top, just like you would on an Android phone. And there's a bunch of valuable tools here like Find My Phone, which is incredibly handy. There's also the option to eject water from the speakers in the watch if you do go underwater. And there's the ultra long battery mode, which can extend the battery for up to 21 days while still allowing fitness tracking and phone functionality to pass through. That's pretty incredible, and the battery life has always been a strength of Huawei watches. This watch can last around 4 to 5 days on a single charge, and when the battery is depleted, it takes around 90 minutes to fully recharge with the magnetic Qi wireless charger that it ships with. Now, the on-screen navigations are quite similar to Android phones as well. When you swipe to the left, you'll get a widget screen which you can customize within the Huawei Health app. Here you can also access Celia. Now, if you're not familiar with Celia, Celia is Huawei's voice AI, which can assist you with some of the watch's basic functionality and setting up timers and things like that. But don't expect much from Celia. She likes to play hard to get. Hey Celia, what time is it?
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
What time is it?
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
Oh, jeez. Now when you swipe to the right, there's a bunch of helpful information and health data at a glance that helps you do quick self-checks of your vitals. And there's even skin temperature readings there, as well as breathing exercises, just in case you're not doing it right. Sleep tracking data is also viewable on the watch, which is cool. And something I really appreciate about the Huawei Health app is it shows you the data for your sleep, but it also offers you advice on how to improve it. The device can store music locally, and the watch has media controls, so you can go completely offline and still listen to music over Bluetooth without your phone. And even without the eSIM activated, the GPS will track your geolocation data and then sync it back up with your phone when it reconnects. And there is an app gallery for the watch, which has first-party apps like the Petal Maps, which is essentially Huawei's version of Google Maps, and a ton of third-party apps and games. But most notably, there's the Adidas Run application. And if you're wondering about Strava, if you go to the Me section on the Huawei Health app and then to data sharing, you can sync the data from the watch directly to the Strava app. The Huawei Watch 4 Pro can display your text messages and WhatsApp messages, and you can reply with the handy voice typing functionality. There is a keyboard on board and you can use swipe gestures to write back, but it's a bit fiddly because the screen is so small. Emails will be cropped, so you can't read all of them and you can't reply to emails on the watch. Now let's talk about wallpapers. There are a ton of them already on the watch and you can download from the Huawei Health app. There's paid ones, there's free ones, and there are literally hundreds of them now. And almost all of the watch faces have always on display versions of them. And because it's an LTPO, it can literally lock down to just 1 Hertz. So it's going to use minimal power with the always on display. And with some of the watch faces, you can customize the complications in them for the stats that make the most sense to you. So you've got everything right there at a glance without having to swipe around. And you can even create your own watch faces if you want from your photos and your videos. And then there's the all new space faces. That's what I call them anyway. Huawei call them Planet Quest watch faces. And there's one for each planet orbiting the star. And I probably don't need to tell you what star I'm talking about. Now, some of the highlights for me on this particular watch is the over 100 fitness tracking modes and training courses. And I really like the fact that it will guide you through these training courses with a voice. So if you've got your earbuds in, you don't even need to look at the watch. I also really like the haptic motor on this. It's quite strong, so you're not going to miss any important alerts. The new respiratory health test is interesting, and the ECG functionality could be a life-saving feature. And the quick health check feature is also excellent. It's a great tool for just keeping an eye on things, making sure that you're staying busy without giving yourself a heart attack. And then there's the space watch faces. And here's a final thought for you guys. You know, once upon a time, people used light and shadow to tell the time and date, sundials. But then came mechanical dials, and they worked like. And now, artificial light and shadow is what we use to represent time on our wrists. And you can see this reflected on your favorite planets if you choose the Planet Quest face. And it is interesting how things go full circle. So take your time to think about that, because if you never take time, how can you ever really have it? And on that note, if you got any value out of this video, you enjoyed it, little thumbs up, subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't be late.